You don't always get overwhelmed because you have too much to do. You get overwhelmed because it feels like you can't get anything wrong. And living with that constant pressure is like having multiple tabs open in your mind, which might keep you in constant motion, but doesn't guarantee you're making the moves that are best for you. So today I'm going to share 4 strategies that help you lower that constant inner pressure you feel to stay on top of everything, to stay ahead and never disappoint, so you can feel less overwhelmed and think more clearly, make the decisions that build the life you actually want rather than just surviving the day. So if you feel like you're always on and you're scared that if you slow down, things will fall apart or people will think less of you, then this video is for you. A lot of people are living with this constant inner pressure to keep up and not fall behind, to stay on top of everything or not disappoint anyone. And because it's been there so long, it becomes like a background noise rather than something you notice. And when this happens, you get desensitized to the costs it brings. And these include physical tension, irritability, brain fog, and the sense that everything is urgent, even when it isn't. So you keep overextending. You don't feel like you can stop because it's not just a one-off stressful event. It's a constant and quiet inner pressure. And the danger is this reduces the brain's ability to think flexibly and make the best decisions. And it also keeps you exhausted, detached from yourself, and in the loop of pressure, which leads to more tunnel vision, and that drives more frantic effort. You can start breaking this loop by first becoming aware of when you're living from that inner pressure. And to do this, you need to know what signs to look for and what your inner calm baseline actually is. In terms of the signs that you're living from inner pressure, these are different for everyone, but some common ones I've seen include becoming more irritable, becoming more controlling, forgetting what you've done that day or just that hour. And perhaps you stop making space for the things you enjoy in your life, the things that bring you pleasure. And this is backed by well-being research on human happiness, which shows that we don't thrive on purpose alone. We need enjoyment and recovery as well. And this balance is called purpose and pleasure. So that's noticing the signs that you're living from inner pressure. But establishing your inner calm baseline also helps you notice when you've drifted from it. One of the ways I help my clients notice this is I ask them to describe an ideal day in an ideal life using 2 considerations. The first consideration is to design a day that gives them sufficient challenge so they don't get bored. But the second is a day where there isn't so much challenge that you get burned out. Your ideal day in your ideal life gives you some clues because it shows you the kind of pace you actually want to live at, the pace that's best suited for you. And when you notice you've deviated too much from that, it's a signal to recalibrate. Another reason this is valuable is that acute stress narrows your thinking and makes you reactive. So your choices become faster but smaller and more fear-based. On the other hand, big picture thinking and curiosity, like thinking about what an ideal day in an ideal life would look like, helps you think more strategically and opens up your mind to higher quality thinking and creative problem solving. So beyond thinking about your ideal day and ideal life, you can also ask yourself, what matters not just for today, but this week or month? Share your response in the comment section below. What would the key features of an ideal day look like for you? And what does it tell you about the kind of pace that best suits you? Crafting an ideal day helps you define what really matters so you can tell when you've drifted too far from that. But ruthless prioritization is the thing that helps you stay close to it. And when I say ruthless, I don't mean that there's no room for flexibility at all. But when you're in pressure mode and in constant motion, you're not even thinking as much about whether what you're doing is the right thing or the action that will ultimately help you live that ideal day we just spoke about, or do what matters this week. But setting your priorities and getting ruthless about them helps you to reset. So the second thing is to establish a consistent and clear method for prioritizing things in your life. The benefit of this is it gets you out of constant motion, especially the kind that's about keeping up with external expectations and standards you've imposed on yourself that you don't even realize. A framework I use is must do, should do, could do. And anything that doesn't correspond with things I must do needs to get put in a dump list. I talk about this in another video I did on procrastination, but this is my dump list with all the post-it notes and whatnot. But I like it because of the size. It's so easy to carry around. And I do quite literally dump everything, all the things that come into my mind that I just don't have time to think about or that are distracting me from what matters most, at least in that moment. I just put in here. And your dump list could save you, especially when you're overwhelmed by internal pressure. Imagine you're trying to run down the street, but there are all these things that people keep throwing in your way and it's never ending. And these things block your path and visibility of the street ahead. Your dump list moves them out of the way and organizes them in a corner over there so that even if you do want to look at them later, you know where to go. And that brings relief and it brings release. That said, it's difficult to find time for big picture thinking, for visualization and prioritization, especially if you don't have rest and space practices in place. If you overwork, overextend, or are in constant pressure to stay on top of everything and never fall behind or disappoint anyone, you might also believe that you have to earn rest. But please hear me on this. This was something I had to learn and accept, and it took me some time, but rest is not a reward for anything. It's strategy and it's part of the work. I created a morning reset video and audio to help ground you in truths like this as soon as you wake up, to stop you from that overthinking and launching into constant motion. So I'll leave the link to that in the description below in case it's of interest. In my video, you don't need to just stop being a perfectionist, you need this skill. I talk about the strategic move of focusing less on stopping and emphasizing more creating micro moments of space or room in your life. I define space as the gap between feeling pressure and reacting to it. It's the pause that takes you out of survival mode long enough to notice what you're doing, feeling, and choose what you actually want to do next to make better, clearer, and more sound decisions. But if you're wired for high standards and constant vigilance of how well you're achieving them, your brain tends to skip these pauses completely. It goes straight from I feel pressure to do something or to be something to I must fix this now. So one of the tools I gave in that video to create space is to start writing your thoughts down. Some call this journaling, some call it expressive writing. It doesn't matter what you call it. You just write. There's also a practice I love from Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, called Morning Pages, which is where you simply fill a few pages of uncensored stream of consciousness writing first thing in the morning. And it's not to produce anything impressive. In fact, try not to produce anything good at all. It's just to get the noise out of your head so that you can actually see what's going on in your mind and start choosing your thoughts and responses instead of letting them choose you. One of the benefits of this practice is it can also help you identify patterns and feelings that sit behind why you have this constant inner pressure. One of the reflective questions I gave that you can use is, where am I confusing motion with meaning and purpose? Lastly, feeling under constant pressure is usually upheld by rigid rules, like if I drop the ball, it won't be tolerated or others will think less of me. But you need to break those rules. And one of the ways you can do this is to create what I call your list of counteractions. The counteraction is one thing that this rule book that keeps you living in constant inner pressure would never allow. One of my rule breaks is to have a nothing day, where I do absolutely nothing that I have to do that day and only pick the things I want to do. It's a subtle act of rebellion against the inner pressure rules. Some things my clients have done include just not doing something. just dropping the ball, leaving it unfinished, or doing a spontaneous activity. Sometimes they complete something at 75% effort instead of their usual 120% effort, and just focus on done or complete rather than excellent and impressive. So in light of that, identify one thing you never allow yourself to do when you're moving and striving because of that inner pressure voice. Pick the smallest, low stakes version of it and then test it. This video gave you 4 strategies to escape the inner pressure that keeps you overworking from a place of fear of falling behind, or fear of disappointing others. But if you want the next layer of this to help you keep living this in your day-to-day, then I suggest you watch this video. See you there.